Hi, my name is Patrick McConville, and this is Edible Architect. For the August edition of Edible Architect, I wanted to pay homage to America's favorite home style, the modern farmhouse. You'll see that this month's design incorporates a traditional silhouette with modern windows. And to really bring the design to life, I also developed this steel roof texture roller to complete the modern farmhouse look. I also have a customer, hi Melina, who takes a lot of cooking classes and requested a design that you would be able to bake all within one cookie sheet. And so I developed a miniature version of the modern farmhouse that you can bake all within one pan. And I will go ahead and bake both the full-sized and miniature versions side by side so that you can compare the scale. The mini version, I think, could be great for any kind of a party, event, or cooking class if you wanted multiple people to be able to bake their own and put it together in a short amount of time. So we'll see how they come out. And when you're ready to get started making the dough for our walls, grab your waterproof blueprints and your supplies and come back here and we'll get started. To make the dough for your walls, first assemble your dry ingredients. You will need to whisk together your cake flour, baking soda, and salt. You will need sugar, and then you will also need room temperature unsalted butter, room temperature egg whites, vanilla, and almond extracts. To begin, we will first cream our butter and sugar together. So add your butter and sugar either to the bowl of a stand mixer or to a regular bowl if you'll be using a hand mixer, and mix those together until they're well combined. Next, add your egg whites one at a time until each of those is well combined. Next, I will add in my almond and vanilla extracts. And once those are combined, you can begin to add your dry ingredients. So you want to whisk these together and then add them in approximately ½ cup to ¾ cup increments until everything has been added. When you're finished, you should have a dough that you can work with that's kind of clay-like and firm enough that it will hold together and is not too sticky, but not too dry and crumbly that you won't be able to cut nice cookies out. So once you have that texture, you can remove the dough from your bowl and roll it into 2 balls and wrap each ball with plastic wrap. When you're ready to begin baking your cookies, first grab your Edible Architect cookie cutter construction set. Here I have the full-size modern farmhouse, and you can compare it with the mini single pan modern farmhouse just to see the difference in scale. So I think it'll be fun to see how quickly we can put them both together. And I think it'll be a simple design, but also one that'll come out really nice in the end. I'm really excited about this texture roller as well because I think that the corrugated steel look on the mini and full-size modern farmhouses will really help it to achieve the look that I'm going for. So go ahead, grab your waterproof blueprints, and that will inform you how many of each piece you will need to cut out depending on the design that you're making. For this particular design, you'll need 2 of each piece. So it's very simple, make 2 of everything. And again, the mini single pan design is designed to fit all within one standard cookie sheet. So when we put this together, I'll show you that all the pieces will fit and you can really quickly and easily make this one with one small pan. So go ahead, cut out all of your pieces, and then you will want to preheat your oven to 375 degrees and bake the cookies for approximately 10 to 12 minutes, but just until they become golden. Before baking, you can also sprinkle the cookies with some sugar if you want the sugar cookies to have a little bit of a sparkly effect and also have that sugary texture. So I will be sprinkling mine with sugar once I've gotten everything cut out. And if you are using a texture roller, don't forget to roll it out before you cut any pieces on which you want that corrugated steel texture. To help me to get the thinnest possible cookies, I am using 1/8 inch rolling pin bands, so that will achieve a really uniform consistency throughout my cookies. You do not have to, but they are available online if you do want to buy the same.
The sound is loud, beat is on, people dancing to the song. Without fail, who prevails? Is your body twist and fails? Don't be shy, I can't be wrong. If you feel it, then you're strong. Party time, sipping drinks as your shoulders rise and sink.
While you wait for your pieces to cool, you can make your royal icing mortar. To begin, take your room temperature egg whites and add them to your stand mixer or a bowl if you'll be using a hand mixer. And then add to that your 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. And then you want to beat those on high until you achieve a really foamy consistency. And at that point, we will begin to add our dry mixture, which is confectioner sugar as well as cream of tartar. Once you have a nice foamy texture after about a minute or so, you can begin to add your dry mixture in about 1/2 to 3/4 cup increments. And once it is all combined, you will switch on high and then beat for another 3 to 5 minutes. But you want to make sure that you monitor it because you don't want a consistency that's too thin to hold the house together or too thick that you can't push it through a piping bag. So get all of your dry mixture mixed in and then switch on high for about 3 to 5 minutes.
The sound is loud, beat is on.
And once you achieve a texture that will hold the structure together, but will still fit through your piping bag, you can go ahead and stop mixing and then add the icing to your piping bag, or if you don't have a piping bag, you can always cut the corner out of a Ziploc bag. When you have finished baking and dusting off all of your pieces, they should look something like this. Here on this side, I have the typical size Modern Farmhouse, and you can see that on the roof pieces, I applied that steel roof texture. So I think that when that's put together, that will give it a cool effect. I did dust my cookies with sugar before I put them in the oven, so they do have kind of a nice sparkle to them. And on this side, I have the miniature version. So you can see that it looks exactly the same, but just on a much smaller scale. And that was made entirely within one cookie sheet. In fact, I rolled it out once, cut out all the pieces, trimmed away the excess, and I had the completed structure. So really, really easy and quick to do. You can in fact make a ton of those little ones if you were to use the recipe, even if you were to cut it in half. What we can do if we'd like to get started with our construction is take our bases. Here I have two small bases that I got at a local craft store for a few dollars. You can use one of these, or you can use just a plate, a tray. It doesn't matter as long as it will fit the footprint of your house. These platforms, I drilled a hole through each one and then snaked a battery light kit up and through it so that I can illuminate both structures, the larger one as well as the smaller. And what I recommend is to take the front wall of your modern farmhouse and then place it where you would like that wall to be on your platform, and then use a pencil just to draw a line where you want that to be. You can then, just perpendicular to that line, take your sidewall and draw a line where you will indicate where that sidewall will be, so you kind of are drawing where that first corner of your structure will be. That will help as a guide when you're placing your walls, and it will make sure that you have a nice squared structure with neat corners. I have gone ahead and done that with both my larger as well as my smaller design, and I am now ready to begin affixing the pieces to the platform and building my structure. Here I have my royal icing or mortar, which I used a little bit of food coloring to achieve a gray-brown color. Because nothing says modern farmhouse quite like gray. And I am going to begin my construction. To begin, take one of your front or back walls. They're both identical, so they should look something like this. And it doesn't matter what's the top or the bottom, that is completely up to you. And then invert the piece, add a line of icing to the bottom edge, and then press it down into place along the line of icing on your platform. Okay, and I put it backwards on your platform. And then you can use a temporary support to hold that in place, like a peanut butter jar. And you can then grab one of your side walls and temporarily hold it in place and determine which side edge you will want to apply icing to. So here I will want to apply icing to this edge as well as the bottom edge. Okay, and we can press that into place against our platform, forming a squared corner with the front wall and pinching everything together. And with that, you can remove your support and your first two walls will stand on their own. At this point, I want to put together our chimney. So for the full-size structure, grab what will be the front of your chimney and then add a line of icing along either side on the shorter edge of the inside face. Then take one of your chimney side pieces with the cutout at the top and pressing both down against your work surface, join them together so that you get a nice clean corner to your chimney. Take your other chimney side piece and repeat the same on the other side. And then take your other chimney front or back piece, add a line of icing to the shorter edge on either side of the inside face, and then press that against your two chimney side pieces to form a chimney with squared edges. And then you can take that and set it aside to dry. And while we're at it, I will repeat that process for my mini structure. So take one of my chimney front pieces, add a line of icing to the inside face on the shorter edge on each side, and then take one of my chimney side pieces and press that into one of those lines of icing. Repeat the same on the other side, and then take my chimney front or back piece, add my two lines of icing on the inside face, and then press that into place against my two chimney side pieces. Okay, we can set our chimneys aside to dry and resume construction of the larger structure. So we have our first two walls placed. We can now take our other side wall, temporarily hold that in place, and determine which edge we will want to add icing to along with the bottom edge. So I will want this edge and that edge. Okay, and then we can press that into place. And form a nice, neat, squared corner. And then take our back wall and add first a line of icing to the front edge on either side. And then add a line of icing to the bottom edge of your back wall. And then press your back wall into place and form nice, neat corners with your two side walls, pinching all of your corners together carefully. And there you have your base structure. And we can now apply our roof pieces. So select one side, either front or back. And what you will want to do is place the first roof piece on whatever will be the back of your structure. So here I have what I want to be my back. I'll add a line of icing to the top three edges on that side. And then I will take one of my roof pieces, whichever is less perfect than the other, and then press that down into place on the back side of the house. And you just want to make sure that the roof does not protrude beyond the top edge on either side. and just carefully pinch everything together. Next, add a line of icing to the top 3 edges on the front, as well as along the center roof line, and then we will place our final roof piece. And there we have an enclosed structure. Before I place the chimney, I am just going to ensure that everything looks well aligned and you can make any adjustments. And then you just want to make sure that before you start moving your chimney that it feels like it has begun to set and that you can move it without breaking it apart. What you'll want to do is add icing along the 4 bottom edges of your chimney. So whatever will be the bottom of your chimney once you invert it and place it on that roof line. So those cutouts will go over the ridge of the roof. And then you can take your chimney and place it wherever you desire on your house. And with that, you have completed the modern farmhouse, complete with a corrugated steel roof. Now I'm going to repeat that exact same process to assemble the mini structure, but the mini modern farmhouse will be exactly the same as this.
The sound is loud, beat is on, people dancing to the song. Without fail, truth prevails, it's your body, twist and fails. Don't be shy, I can't be wrong.
If you made the modern farmhouse, hopefully it came out something like this. I'm really pleased with how this came out. I really like the design. It's very traditional, yet the window placement is modern, so I do think that it's reminiscent of a modern farmhouse, especially with the corrugated steel effect that we have on our roof. Equally so, I love the smaller structure. I think on a smaller scale, it could be a great idea for an escort card table for a wedding or an event. I think also it could be something great for a cooking class, home ec. And Melina, I certainly hope that this is what you had envisioned when you had wanted something for your cooking class. So I can't wait to hear your feedback. All we have now to do is to light them up because I do have light kits inside of each of these. And now we have our illuminated full-size modern farmhouse. And our single pan or mini modern farmhouse as well. If you would like to check these kits out or any of our other cookie cutter construction sets or cookie texture rollers, please visit ediblearchitect.com and visit our shop. If you wanted to make a recipe other than the sugar cookie recipe that we made today, you can visit our website and visit ediblearchitect.com/recipes for all of those crisp cookie recipes that you can use to build edible structures. Thanks so much for joining. I hope that you enjoyed this as much as I did, and I can't wait to see what you build.